My name is Ester Fink. I am a physical therapist with more than 30 years of experience treating children with neurological dysfunction, such as babies at risk, premature babies, children with cerebral palsy, hypotonia, Down syndrome, and other syndromes, and motor development delay. In 1992, I met a baby with cerebral palsy who came from Caracas, Venezuela. She was being treated by Mr. Cuevas there and by me here in Toronto. After each visit, I was impressed by her improvements. Prior to 1992, I was mainly using the neurodevelopmental treatment or BOBAT intervention. This is a brief review of Medek. I will demonstrate some exercises on two babies with low muscle tone or hypotonia and the beneficial effects of Medek on a 20-month-old child with cerebral palsy, spastic diplegia. Medek stands for Método Dinámico de Estimulación Kinésica or Dynamic Method for Kinetic Stimulation or CME. Medek is based on the assumption that mobility and manipulating objects require both the ability to maintain anti-gravity extension and postural control, meaning stabilizing the body in space. Researchers agree that primarily extensor tone and balance are essential for a child to move around. What do we mean by pulling against gravity or extensor tone? By 3 months, a baby will lift his head against gravity. By 5 months, they will lift the head and the upper trunk. And by between 6 and 8 months, the child will sit in an upright position. The inability to pull against gravity will limit the development of sitting, crawling, pulling up to stand, and walking. At the same time, babies are developing balance. They need to be able to stabilize and align all the joints and keep the center of gravity inside the base of support. Not only the child has to react to a fall, but the child also has to anticipate a destabilizing movement. For example, the baby on the right is reaching for an object. Before the arm moves forward, the muscles in the back have to contract to prevent the child from falling forward. If you see the picture on the right, on the bottom, you will see the train is moving. The person on the train has to anticipate the movement, otherwise will fall backwards. Babies are not born with these mechanisms. They develop these skills as they move in space. Infants born preterm with cerebral palsy, with different syndromes or developmental delays, may demonstrate less trunk extension, rigid postural patterns, low scores in muscle tone, head, trunk control, and have difficulty in adjusting their postural control. This may translate into motor developmental delay and lack of coordination. Fortunately, with the Medek exercises, we can build these skills very clearly. This baby has low tone and is at risk of developing poor trunk control. Here I am working on trunk extension and balance. She's not sitting yet, but by me moving the arm, I can keep her in an upright position. I am creating a standing position. She's young, so I'm holding her by the pelvis, but with the time I want to go below, on the thighs, on the ankles, so that she keeps herself up and maintains balance. So now this baby has control of the neck muscles, of her trunk, of her hips, of her knees. She's being held only under her feet, so she's totally unsupported. This person is moving her because she doesn't have enough balance to stand independently on the ground. However, with the time, he will move less and less until she stands. Reese demonstrated low tone, low muscle tone, and hypermobility or too much mobility around her joints. I started working with her when she was pretty young. As you see in the top pictures, I am working with her on trunk extension to get an upright position. We got her walking, and in the lower on the left side you see that we have increased her challenge for balance. We have her walking up and down a 4 inches box without me holding her. On the right hand side, Reese is walking in and out these boxes. The challenge is even bigger. And also she has to close her base of support. So she's not walking with the legs. She cannot walk with the legs spread apart. She's also attending to the task. She does a pretty good job. This is Enora. Enora is by then 20 months old. I met her in France. She was diagnosed with spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy. In this video, I am trying to hold the leg, one leg, move her, but it's pretty hard for her to keep her trunk up and to balance herself. I feel like at any moment her trunk can collapse forward and her legs are pretty stiff. She's working very hard. On the right, I am teaching her physical therapist the squat to stand exercise. So I put her feet on the table, hold her by the thighs, and the goal is for Enora to pull against gravity. She's not using much her legs, and also she's not used to the exercise, so she's not very happy. Enora is now in Toronto. She got extension of the trunk, the hips, she's controlling her knees. I am holding her only by the ankles. So above my hands, she's controlling her own balance. She can also go up and down those blocks, held only by the ankles. In this exercise, I am holding Enora by the ankles. She's keeping herself up while I am moving, bending the leg. She goes up. I am dissociating the trunk from the legs, one leg from the other, and she has to keep her balance. As you see, I am not holding Enora above the ankles, so she's developing balance. Enora is working even harder because she's walking on a very small base of support. Actually, one foot is in front of the other. And we are increasing also muscle strength and endurance. We got to the point where Enora is holding herself up, but she cannot stand on the ground because she doesn't have enough balance. So I am moving the boxes, so I am compensating for her lack of balance, but she's keeping herself up without me holding her. A daily exercise program is essential to learn a skill. Research suggests that dose and density drive neuroplasticity. Enora's mother has a daily program. Here she's holding her just on top of the head. Enora is keeping herself upright and the center of gravity inside the base of support. She's not leaning into anything. There she's standing independently. Not the best alignment, but a good functional skill. And as she leans forward, she makes her first steps. The daily exercises translate into functional activities, such as standing up. So, to summarize some of the Medek concepts, gravity is the main driving force that provokes a response. Progress is obtained by provoking reactions that are not present, using less support, more challenge, and we don't practice skills that the child already demonstrates. The exercises provide experience which translates into function. The laws of normal development do not apply to abnormal development. So, if the child is already 6 or 7 months old, we will not practice only head control. We will not wait until the head control is there in order to practice trunk control, sitting, crawling, standing. The 8 week trial period is usually sufficient for an experienced therapist to determine if this approach will work with the child and their family. I do not know of any research done to support the effectiveness of Medek to develop gross motor skills in children with a neurological dysfunction. The evidence, however, is compelling. Thank you to all the parents and their children for allowing me to use their photos and videos for this presentation.